And thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock. Weather on the warpath. Tornadoes, damaging winds, hail, and of course, all the flooding that we've seen, all hitting the state of Indiana in the last week and a half. We've seen the devastation. Tonight, we're getting new insight into the state response and the push for recovery support. Our Logan Gay has the update tonight from Indiana leaders. So, Logan, where do things stand right now?
Well, Scott, we now know the Indiana Department of Homeland Security and FEMA's preliminary damage assessments are done. That's the first step in collecting information required for a major disaster declaration request to get federal assistance. Exactly 1 week after Governor Mike Braun issued a statewide disaster declaration for severe weather and flooding, the impacts are far from over.
Here it's about sizing up who's going to be able to fix up their home. Do they have flood insurance? Do they not have? Are they underinsured?
The Indiana Department of Homeland Security says 22 counties have issued emergency declarations, and the state's expected to submit a request for a major disaster declaration to the federal government in the next day or so.
Federal response so far has been just to replace the funds we've spent across our state, which will far exceed $5 million.
Our number as of today turned into Hamilton County is north of $10 million just for Noblesville alone.
Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen says they spent the morning assessing homes to determine the damage.
That was important for us, not just for the federal aid the governor referred to, but also important before we send volunteers into those homes. We want to make sure that they are structurally sound.
And the damage continues to add up, with IDHS reporting more than 20,000 Hoosiers have applied for state disaster relief assistance. And while communities wait to hear word on federal assistance for homeowners and renters, leaders are asking Hoosiers to hold tight.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. We will be with you every step of the way. We are here to serve Hoosiers and make sure that our citizens are taken care of and safe, and we're going to not stop until that is completed.
And right now, Indiana's State Disaster Relief Fund is offering up to $5,000 in emergency aid grants to Hoosiers in need of assistance. This fund allows families to get the basic essentials while displaced from their homes. We have a link to all the resources available to you right now, posted at WTHR.com/flooding.
All right, Logan, thanks so much. Tonight, leaders right here in Indianapolis are working to give a break to people facing costly flood-related fixes. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett just signed an executive order suspending permit fees for repairs and restoration. This will be in effect for 30 days. Now, according to the mayor's office, it retroactively applies to any eligible permits submitted on August 14th and then beyond. Tonight at 11, the Marion County Public Health Department is taking steps to protect Hoosiers affected by the flooding. It is offering free walk-in tetanus vaccine clinics tomorrow and Saturday. Health leaders tell us that exposure to contaminated floodwater and the dangers associated with the cleanup increase a person's risk for tetanus. This vaccine is recommended for people who have not had a booster in the past 10 years.
Nobody wants to get tetanus. It causes muscle rigidity and can be fatal. So we just want to do everything that we can to protect the residents as they try to, get their lives restored here, keep them healthy. And this is just one thing they can check off their list.
You do not need an appointment. Tomorrow's clinic takes place at Riverwood Park. That's at 7200 Crittenden Avenue. That's in the hard-hit Ravenswood neighborhood. That'll be open from 4 until 6. Then Saturday, people can stop by Holt Park from 10 till noon. Well, it's going to take a lot of time and money to undo all of this damage from the flood, but volunteers in Muncie are getting the process going free of charge. Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Indiana is leading the way. 60 people pitching in, many of them making the trip from North Carolina. They've been assessing properties and starting repairs, cleaning up mud and tearing out drywall. The support meant everything for the Indiana families affected by the flooding.
We've got a huge community of support, and we still have needed extra help. So there's so many that don't have anybody. So that's going to be really critical for those people especially.
The team from Southern Baptist Indiana plans to be in place until the work is finished. They estimate they will be working on some 150 damaged homes. They also have crews in Anderson, Newcastle, and Cambridge cities. And there's also an opportunity tonight for free demolition services in Connorsville. The mayor told us if your home was affected by the floodwater and needs to be torn down, you can call or text the number there on the screen, 765-407-0914. Actual demolitions are currently on hold, but people can still sign up so everything is ready to go when the city mobilizes. You can also stop by City Hall to sign the necessary forms. Well, nearly $3 million is now going toward the cleanup effort in Hamilton County, but residents who hire someone on their own to haul away debris may not be reimbursed for that cost. Our Alex Almanza joins us tonight in the newsroom. So, Alex, what do people need to know before they start clearing everything out?
Well, first things first, the big thing is if you've already hired a private company or rented a dumpster, Hamilton County leaders say that cost won't be covered under its current FEMA-backed debris plan. Officials say there's a simpler way to handle it. Noblesville is drying out, and people are tossing things out to the curb. Wet furniture, appliances, all of it piling up. But now Hamilton County is putting $2.7 million toward debris removal. The county's bringing in crews that meet FEMA requirements to handle that work.
It's going to take quite a bit of time to assess each property and then also work with the individual residents and the businesses on their needs.
But County Commissioner Michael Hubbs says the process doesn't include every cleanup bill people may already have.
For folks out there who have already hired some type of a contractor or service to provide trash receptacles or a dumpster or service, those will not be covered at this time through the FEMA program.
For everyone else, the rules are pretty straightforward.
You need to put your debris out along the curb. We've provided guidelines for that. There are FEMA guidelines.
So while the rules, FEMA requires the county to prove what's removed and where it goes before it can qualify for reimbursement from the feds.
Our number as of today turned into Hamilton County is north of $10 million just for Noblesville alone, to give some context around that. So we're going to need state and federal partners to come alongside us in this.
Local officials will send damage estimates to the state as Indiana seeks a major federal disaster declaration beyond the $5 million already approved by President Trump. So the county says flood-damaged furniture, appliances, drywall, that can all go to the curb. But some items have to be separated, especially hazardous waste like oil, paint, and compressed gas. I'm going to put a full list on our website for you to check out.
All that really important, good information, Alex. And the good news for us, no rain tonight across central Indiana. This is a live view in Bloomington at the IU campus. In Bloomington right now, we have 69, 73 degrees in Columbus, 68 Richmond, and still 75 in Indianapolis. The only weather issue overnight will be some patchy fog early tomorrow at the bus stop. Morning temperatures in the mid-60s, 77 for recess, and eventual highs in the low 80s. We're wrapping up the last few days of the Indiana State Fair. Tomorrow's going to be a good one. After that fog is gone, we've got a mix of sun and clouds and low 80s on Friday afternoon.